What's up YouTube? It's been a while, but we're en route to the gym now for a big push session. The training's been going absolutely amazing at the moment, so pretty excited to show you guys kind of how it's going, and you know, just kind of again like just show you kind of what I'm doing as I progress through this off season. However, the main point of this video is to talk about the one thing that I think holds people back a lot with muscle growth, or you know, the thing that you need is just care less about, basically. And we'll get to that as the session progresses and talk about it, because you know, I've noticed this topic come up a lot with kind of clients, and it's definitely something that, you know, I look back on with my progress and think it's something that I didn't overly focus on. And I think if you do focus on it too much, it can hold you back a lot. And there's so many different variables at play that can throw it off as well, which we'll talk about. You're probably wondering, what am I talking about? But yeah, anyway, en route to the gym. I've got MV Pre and Superhuman Pump in here. I'm gonna drink this now. Superhuman Pump, I think I've already spoke about this on YouTube, but it is the best tasting pre there is. It tastes so good. So yeah, I think I didn't realise, but MV Pre and Superhuman Pump both have a lot of base alanine in. So the combination of the both, I'm like basically overdosing on base alanine, and just like, I don't even tingle that much anymore. It's quite concerning, but I don't know what. I hope there's no like adverse effects or long-term studies on base alanine that show you shouldn't do it. I doubt there are any long-term studies yet anyway, but hopefully it's not. If it is bad for you, I'm absolutely screwed. But yeah, anyway, gonna train for push. Gonna be a big session. We've got high incline Smith. We'll see what we can get with 3 plates and a quarter on there, which will be exciting. And yeah, just chase some big lifts. So yeah, we will see you in there. Let's do it. Something I wanted just to talk about when warming up on, especially on presses, something I learned last session, is try not let really good warm-ups give you too much confidence. Obviously we talk about warm-ups and how they can be really useful in terms of giving us confidence into your working set. That can actually go too far sometimes for certain people, like myself. I'm definitely one of those people that might let a warm-up edge me on a little bit, because I love to full send sets. It's what I love to do. I'm sure a lot of you guys love to do that. But say you do your last warm and it absolutely flies, don't just do a stupid jump, because it's the last rotation. I did 3 plates I went from doing 3 plates to 8 to full send in 3.5 on the high incline. And it was fun. We got like 2 plus 1, but I mismoved it and it was pointless. It was fun though, but it was pointless. So what I'm trying to say is, my last warm up absolutely flew. I thought it was on, and I let that get the best of me a bit. And if I just went for the same loading, but just a cleaner set, I'd probably have got more from it. But sometimes you've got to learn from that, and you can just get after it and have a bit of fun. It's not going to harm much, especially if you have the security of a backup set. But a lot of the time you just got to keep your level head on. Three, 2, 1, yes!
Come on. Yeah, nice, come on. Yeah, and again. Yeah, up, come on. Finish that, that's you. 1. Yeah, yeah. Up. Come on.
two of the potentially worst sets I've had in a while. I'm wearing like really slippery trousers, and from the minute I unrack it, I'm literally just sliding down the bench. I feel like I've got no stability whatsoever. So I can't like scoop under it because I'm just pushing under and I'm like sliding further down. So I might just do one more set on it, like not to failure, but just to get at least a bit more work done, because those 2 sets were just a waste. I'm going to try put the hoodie on the seat and see if it makes a difference, because it just feels so unstable. I think it'll be useful though just to stress, like sometimes shit like this is going to happen, and once I walk away from this exercise, the session starts again in a way. Like, I'm not going to let this dictate what I think I can get out of other movements. No chance. Hopefully, the Nautilus incline is not as upright and these slippery fucking stupid trousers won't throw me off. But just don't let a bad exercise, a bad set ruin your session. So we've done a high incline Smith. That's for more delt, but still a bit of top chest. Like, we're not completely upright, but equally I think that angle's a lot safer in terms of a safer plane to press in. We've done that. Now we're going to go on to the chest press bias movement, which is this Nautilus incline. I think this is probably my favourite chest press I've ever used. And I've been running it up with the neutral grip instead of out here. And it feels a lot better on the pecs. I think when you go a bit wider, if you think about it, you can see that alignment shifting. Like, I'm putting more tension through my delts again. So just keeping things tucked in, you're going to access a lot more up here. And this is the hard area of your pecs to kind of drive tension through. A lot of people, they can grow like a big pec kind of out here, but getting a lot of like upper clavicular fibers here is quite hard to access. And it's because people aren't aligning things right. The closer grip is obviously a bit more tricep, but I think it's more tricep, less delt, and a bit more pec, and I much prefer it. So we're going to run this up to 2 plates on the stack, which is the strongest I've ever been at this, which is exciting. Maybe we can get out to 3 plates, we'll see. Not now, but in the push at some point.
Come on. Yes, come on, let's go. No, come on. Drive. No.
So that right there is kind of evidence of why you don't let a bad first set dictate your session. So that was like half a rep up. Realistically on presses, they're going to be slow. Like, you're not going to go up a rep every week on presses. So to take like half a rep or even like just 1 rep myself more. So like Charlie helped the tiniest bit. Last time it was a proper force rep. So that felt good. And that was after 3 sets on high incline Smith, which, whilst I did an extra set, realistically the amount of stimulus challenge I actually created from it was probably pretty similar to the week before. I'm not an advocate of doing an extra set when a set doesn't feel good. Most of the time you shouldn't do that because you're just going to fuck the recovery. But that was a situation where I knew, I was like, what the hell, this is terrible. Like, I'm not even actually challenging my delts, I'm just sliding down the bench and feeling really unstable, so it was worth it in that situation. So going on to lateral raise work now, and whenever I program lateral raises, I always like to start on something that's typically a bit heavy in the short. So a CC lateral raise machine tends to be heavier at the top because it's coming from like below and it's going up. So the biggest challenge is here. So we're just working that short range when we're a bit more fresh. And then later in the session, I like to do another lateral raise, which biases the stretch. So we're kind of doing both. I think that's good just so you're ticking both boxes off. So you're getting strong up here, and then you're also getting strong in the stretched out position as well. If I was to pick one, I'd probably go with something that's a bit more challenging in the stretch, because a lot of the time, you know, on lateral raises, when we're battling the short a lot, we tend to kind of raise the trap, and it's harder to keep the form where we want it to be in terms of targeting the medial delt. Equally at the same time, stretch mediated hypertrophy, all that stuff that everyone knows about now, like it would probably make sense to do something that works the stretch a bit more. But best way to do it, do two lateral raise exercises, something short bias first, something length and bias after. A lateral raise exercise, I think, is a perfect opportunity to talk about the main topic of this video, the thing I want to talk about, which is the number one thing that is probably, when you're in the gym, just holding you back most of the time. And I see a lot of people get held back by it. And it's essentially chasing sensation, getting so hyper-focused on internal feel, on how it feels during the set. And I think obviously that matters, right? Like, to an extent that matters. If you can't feel it at all, that's a sign that maybe something's wrong. However, there are so many different variables that will interfere with how sensation is during a set. That burning sensation, that pain that you feel, doesn't always equate to mechanical tension. And a lot of the time, it's actually the very opposite of it. When we understand what mechanical tension is, it's driving a progressive stimulus, putting the muscle over a new stimulus, something that demands adaptations through getting stronger to then lift more weight. If we're overly loading a muscle, it's going to grow and adapt to that tension that's present. That's what drives muscle growth. It isn't burn, and I'm going to explain exactly why. Imagine you go into the gym and you do a movement you've never done before. That is something your muscle's not used to, but it's not a stimulus that demands growth. It's just something your muscle isn't really used to. So it's going to hurt a lot, it's going to burn, it's going to be like, geez, what is this exercise? You might go into a movement and go, oh, this feels amazing, it hurts so much. As you get used to that movement over time, the stimulus during the set will drop off. You'll be more used to it. The burn will be less. And then you might think, okay, this has got worse, I'm not growing anymore. The absolute opposite. You're now actually, as you progress it, growing more, but it will feel like, you know, that burn isn't there anymore. Equally, DOMS, post-training, soreness is always higher when you do a movement you've not done before. You then adapt, you won't feel sore anymore. Again, that does not equate to muscle growth. So my best piece of advice is when you're in the gym, stop caring about how things feel as much. Focus on your form being standardized and accurate and good visually. Does it look perfect? How do you feel coming out of the set? Do you feel like you did some good work? And are you progressing? If you tick those 3 boxes off, you're going to be growing. Stop chopping and changing movements, stop changing things, stick to the same things over time, and you will grow a lot more than getting so hyper-focused on stimulus, tension during the set, like burn. Just focus on getting strong. I never thought about those things. I never got fixated on how something felt. Oh no, this doesn't feel good, I'm going to change it. Oh wait, this doesn't feel right. I was never doing that. I just was someone that loved to train hard and get strong. And that's what will get you growth, so.
Cool.
Oh, fuck. Going on to this upper clavicular fly pretty much, but it's a bit more delt bias, it's very upright. You'll see the bench is pretty upright. So it's kind of like the high incline again, but it's just getting more across here. I'm trying to get just generally just more across my top line. I've got quite good pec development lower down. So if I can just get strong in this almost upright position, just almost coming across, you know, convergence, just bringing my upper arm in, I'm just getting all across here. So just literally coming across there. You can literally see the contraction through there. And then it's also bringing some delta into it as well. So yeah, just focusing on getting strong at this again. Like, I'm not overly fixated on how it feels. I'm just focusing on good form and getting strong. I'm not worrying too much about the tension from the set, but equally just making sure it feels safe. As long as the alignment's perfect, so I'm not messing up my joints, happy days, and I'm just gonna focus on progressing it. You gotta understand, if your form is good, like, what's moving the weight? Your muscle. So you're not going to be using your joints, you're not going to be throwing things out of position. As long as you're accurately loading up the muscle you want, that's all you need to care about, okay? Sometimes we just will genetically not feel a muscle as much as someone else as well. So many different things, guys, to consider. But yeah, don't overly complicate it. Yep. A big mistake I see people make on cuff laterals, especially lying cuff laterals, is they're placing the cable too low. So when they stretch out into this position here, it's pulling them down. And what that's doing is, as you come over, it's just making it short, like almost impossible to get into. So what I'd recommend doing is aligning the cable completely in line with where your hand sits in the stretch position. That allows you to create most challenge in that stretch position and gives us the most kind of stimulus. And then also it allows us to just be able to stay through the set and still get into this shortened position as well. So yeah, make sure your cable is aligned with where you finish in the stretch. And that's also going to keep your shoulders healthy as well. One thing you need to recognise with lateral raises, or in fact any movement which involves a very small muscle group, is the scale for progress is so much smaller. So you can't really see it as a problem when you stall for a few weeks. Like if you're doing a lateral raise and you do the same number for 3 weeks in a row, that's actually just a reality of the movement itself. So don't just swap it out. Understand progressions are going to be very slow, especially on like a cuff lateral raise. You can't cheat it. You're lying down, you're in this fixed position. You're never going to lateral raise 300 kilos. You're going to deadlift. You could deadlift 300 kilos. I think that says it all. Don't expect to progress all the time on it, and don't just chop in, change movements that quickly. Stick at it. Understand that when you do progress, it actually means you're growing. It's not neurological adaptations. It's not skill. It's truly indicative of muscle growth. Oh! So yeah, just doing a push down first, spicing the short. Getting strong is just, you know, like pushing it down and working that short head of the tricep. I feel like with triceps, you got push downs, you got overhead work, you got a close grip press. You just got to focus on doing all three. You would never want to avoid one of them. I find like people that, you know, don't have that depth to their physique, usually there's a weakness in there in terms of their pressing. And a lot of the time, some people, they just can't get strong at pressing with their arms close to their body. So make sure you do that, and then you can do all this like more technical cuff work as well on top of it. The reason I'm not doing it is because I've done it for years, the close grip pressing, I got really strong at it. And now I'm prioritizing more medial delt work. Don't use that as an example for yourself. Most people should be focusing on a press. Usually I'd have that in, but right now I don't. Some good motivation for staying natural. Someone actually asked me the other day, do I not think, what if I went on steroids, what I could be achieving? Let's spin that around, okay, and think, if you do go on steroids, are you gonna be thinking, what if I stayed natural? Where would I be in 20 years? Natural bodybuilding is the one thing where you could do for years and years and years and years and keep doing it, you know? You just gotta train and lift weights in the gym. It's not like realistically that hard to do that, right? Like you could be doing that in your 50s. If you're assisted at my age, you're probably not going to be able to be pushing things in your 50s. So if you want to almost find out where you can push things with the test of time, that's within natural bodybuilding. And that's why I'm staying natural for life, because I want to know where I can get to in the future. I don't want to be thinking, what if, what could that be naturally, as opposed to me chasing it short term. You notice I just did a high rep set first. It's just because I always find it's the stuff where you're doing like overhead extensions heavy that mess up your elbows. So I just do a high rep set before, just to get everything as warm as possible. It's literally sometimes the best thing you can do for elbow pain is just do high rep sets first. Get things really warm, makes such a difference. You can worry about all these different recovery things or getting a massage in, just change your rep ranges. Don't be so fixed to that top set, back set approach. Fucking hell. That seat is unreliable. Oh, fuck. Done. So it's a wrap for that push session, which in all honesty wasn't the best session. I've had a very good run of training, and I feel like I said intro in this video, our training's going so well, I can't really show you kind of how good training's going, and then it didn't go as well as I hoped. But you know, that happens sometimes. It's important to recognize it and get that, like, you're going to have sessions that aren't positive all the time. For the most part, I still move forward on a lot of things, still progressed, and some things retained. It was just that high incline set which was massively thrown off from just slipping down, like finished so unstable. I've never felt so unstable on that bench before, which was really annoying. But I think also because I did that extra set to get a bit more work done, that may have thrown off like recovery a little bit into the later exercises. But I think the most important thing for this session was just talking about how you should not worry about feel during a set too much. So hopefully you guys have got that now. You know, just focus on training hard with good form and progressing. That's all you need to do, because there are certain things that will make you feel like you're not producing as good attention as possible compared to before, which is, you know, most of the time related to a new movement, you know, maybe due to kind of introducing something you're not used to, then, you know, actually just a movement just suddenly being so good, I feel this massive burn. Like, sometimes that's not really indicative of muscle growth or mechanical tension that contributes to muscle growth. Now, I'm not saying don't think about how something feels. There is a balance there, but I see a lot of people get massively just distracted by just chopping and changing movements, getting worried about a movement. Just get focused on getting strong, you know. The only time you need to think, oh, this doesn't feel as good as something else, maybe is when you have like a overpowering muscle group in a compound lift. But if you're doing a lateral raise and it's like, oh, it doesn't feel good, just stop worrying and just get on with it, honestly. Like, you're just faffing at that point. So, but yeah, anyway, pretty average session, but we still got some work done that we needed to do, and we're moving forward. So yeah, I think it gets to a point where occasionally sessions like this are going to happen, but actually I don't think it was really reflective of me not moving forward. I think it was just that first movement just throwing things off. Like, the range was terrible. I couldn't stretch under it as much because I felt like I was sliding off the bench. It is what it is. We've got to take some losses, and you know you got to fail sometimes, really. But yeah, appreciate you guys watching. Thank you for all the support on this YouTube. We're going to keep the content coming. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. See you soon.